Hey everyone. So, welcome to Diversity Matters, where we celebrate the people and organizations driving inclusion, innovation, and impact across the real estate industry. This month, we're honored to feature Bryan Ahn, the newly installed national president of the Asian Real Estate Association of America, better known as AREAA. And I am Teresa Palacios Smith, Chief Inclusion Officer for HomeServices of America. And I'm so excited because I just attended ARIA's national conference where Bryan stepped into this new chapter with a powerful vision, one that builds on the organization's mission to advance sustainable homeownership for the Asian American Native, Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander community. With more than 2 decades of experience in mortgage banking and a heart for service, Bryan's leadership is rooted in purpose and possibility. And today we're going to have a chance to explore how ARIA continues to expand its influence from local advocacy to global collaboration, and how this movement is reshaping homeownership for generations to come. And I'm so excited, Bryan, because you're actually broadcasting live from New York City, which is my hometown. I'm excited about that because you're at the Meets West event that takes place in New York for ARIA every year.
Absolutely, Teresa. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for the opportunity to be here. Yes, super excited. Right now, broadcasting live from New York City at the TD corporate office. As you can see the backdrop here. Yes, East meets West now is on to our 11th year. And it was really started back, I believe, by Angie Lee, who's the past president of AREAA National, also for this local chapter here. And the whole purpose was to connect and create a bridge between the United States, of course, and what's going on with the AANHPI here, and also how it affects abroad and overseas in our Asian markets there as well. So we have top speakers within the industry, from builders, from and today, specifically this morning, we had a celebrity showing. We had none other than Ryan Serhant, who's $1 million listing, who's a local celebrity here, that came and spoke for a little bit. So super excited. We're in the middle of all this. Thank you again for the opportunity to be here, Teresa.
And you've been on the road traveling, Bryan, because we were just in Santa Monica, and that's exciting to have Ryan there. I know he's not just a local celebrity, he's a celebrity wherever he goes, because obviously he's done such an amazing job. And it's great to know that one of your very own ARIA board members is actually involved with his organization. So, congratulations, Bryan. And the one thing I want to know, you were just installed as national president, and I know that was such a powerful moment. I was there. I loved. It was such a special event, and I loved every minute of it. What was was going through your mind as you accepted this new leadership role, especially knowing that your mother, your aunt, your daughters, your family was there, surrounded by Jim Park and everyone that was involved. What a special show. Honestly, I really absolutely loved it. What was going through your mind as you stepped into the role?
Yeah, no, absolutely. The first thought that was came to my mind, honestly, was a mix of humility and purpose. And really standing there, being sworn in as a president, I immediately thought about my journey on how far we've come, not just my personal journey, but for our community. I thought about my parents who left everything behind in South Korea to give us a shot in better life. I thought about the countless immigrants, professionals, and families who serve that are still navigating through this journey today. And almost immediately after the joy of that moment, I felt deeply responsible for my position and my duties as the national president. This position isn't about me. It's about being the voice for millions in the AANHPI community who face the unique barriers in home ownership. It's about leading with intention and listening more than I can speak, ensuring that every decision we make at AREAA uplifts and empowers our community in the most meaningful and measurable way possible.
And I love it, Bryan. And I know it had to be special, especially because your story, your family story is the story of so many of our families, right? In many of the immigrant communities. And I think that's why it's important the work that AREAA does, the work that all of your local chapters do across the country. I know that right now you have how many total? About 20. How many chapters do you have across the country?
Yeah, absolutely. Currently, we have 46 chapters, including national. Our newest approved chapter is in Salt Lake City. So, quick shout out to Salt Lake City and Peter Lee and
Yay!
their leadership, which will be taking off in March. So, thank you again. We have over 46 chapters, 19,000 members, two in Canada. And with that, we are the largest voice for the AANHPI in the community.
You really are, and you do such a great job in everything that you do, especially in your report that you put out every year. And I know that your mission is really about sustainable home ownership for the community. You have other pieces, and I know you have a specific mission because you talked about it when you were at the event. But what I want to know is how does it what does it mean to you personally? I want to hear your personal story, Bryan, and how do you see it evolving under your leadership for others?
Absolutely. ARIA's mission isn't just for professionals. For me personally, it's really the story of our family coming to this country. My parents who grew up in Hawaii, working in the hotels, cleaning rooms for 20 years, never been given the opportunity for home ownership. Really, I'm the first in my family's generation to own a home in the United States. And if I didn't take that opportunity and make that decision, then I would not be able to provide for our family. I deeply know that it makes a tremendous impact for me, my wife, and my four children that are part of this journey. And for the NHPI community, um, there's a lot of obstacles, including language barriers, cultural nuances, discrimination, the lack of data that's not properly reflected in our diversity. And that's why our mission at ARIA is to make sure that we continue to fight for all those people that are not able to fight and be the voice for the people that aren't able to voice their own. So during my term, I want to extend three ways that I want to make an impact. The first is to push out a stronger policy advocacy around disaggregated data and fair lending practices. Second is to enhance education and outreach to the visible segment, the invisible segment of our community, the ones who aren't always captured in a mainstream narrative. And third, by building strategic partnership across the industry, including your amazing company and partnership, financial institution, tech policy, and community nonprofits to scale our efforts nationally.
I love it. First of all, I think the three missions that you personally have really are critical in order to move forward for all communities, right? But specifically because there are so many segments of the AAP and IPI community, there are so many segments. A lot of people don't really know, like because you have different languages that you operate, different dialects, and also different price range communities, right? As far as everyone believes, oh my gosh, you all are, crazy rich, right? And that's not always the case, right?
Right.
So really making sure that not just that our realtors, our agents are educated, but also that the lenders and the individuals that the financial institutions out there that are making those loans understand the differences in the communities that you're serving in order to better help them. And this is perfect for you because you actually came from and are from this industry. You've had a 20-year career in mortgage, in banking. You've worked with major institutions. And I think, that really has to have been very beneficial for you, and very crucial in your planning, what your mission is this year. What's one key lesson that you have learned from the experiences that you really now feel will help you lead AREAA?
Absolutely. I would say one key lesson is this: understanding before you act. In mortgage banking, we learn quickly that every borrower has a different story, different need, challenges, fears, and goals. The only way to truly serve them is to listen deeply and approach every case with empathy and clarity. That lesson translates directly to leading an organization like AREAA. Our members, our partners, our community, they all come with unique perspectives and expectations. It's not about having all the answers on day one. It's about creating an environment where we ask the right questions, listen to our community, and then act boldly based on what we learn. And in mortgage banking over the last 20 years, you also learn to navigate the risk while building trust, a skill that's crucial in leadership, rather in the boardroom or in a town hall, or that foundation that helps me lead with both strategy and heart.
And you really do have heart, Brian. That's the one thing I can tell you, and definitely strategy. For me, one of the biggest events that I remember, it was when your chapter, and I think I told you this, I attended AREAA in Phoenix, an event that you had at the Mercedes venue, and you
Yes.
had just such beautiful cultural nuances that you brought into the event. I thought that was beautiful, but you also brought in education. And I know that one of the things that really has and affects all of us is the fact that we do come with, as leaders, there are definitely some challenges that we have to overcome, whether you were a local leader, right? Because in the local chapters, there's a lot of drama,
Right.
especially in all organizations. I don't care if it's NAREP, AREA, NAREP, all of them have local, right,
Right.
drama. Then you've got the national, exposure and leadership and the drama of that. And then you also have to navigate work. You got to navigate work, and then you got to also navigate your family, right? And what's happening there? You got your mother in Hawaii. I mean, all these things that are happening. How are you able to stay grounded and centered and handle all of the pressures and challenges that arise so that you can stay aligned with your mission?
Absolutely, Teresa. Thank you so much. I think I don't know if I am able to manage it perfectly. I always say that do your best with what you're given. And I'm really thankful for my friends and family. Surround yourself with people that support you. Um, and it could be anything, right? So like one of the things that really kind of helped me is I in the morning I really kind of think about and be grateful, gratitude of just waking up, having what we have. And to everyone out there, I would say that we always have more than enough. Morning ritual that I like to do is I do like to meditate. I pray for a few minutes, and I want to know what's going on with the world before I turn on the computer and jump on the email. And we're always going about the hustle and bustle. I think it's important that you take care of yourself. Someone once said that they draw like a spoke where you are the center, and at the same time, like all these people depend on you. And then she drew like a little circle. And Amanda Lee out of San Diego, shout out to you also, has mentioned this. She learned to pour your cup before you pour onto others. And because people depend on you so much, if you don't take care of yourself, all those people that depend on you are affected. So make sure that you take care of yourself. Health is always on top. Just recently coming here, DC Board of Director Bobby was talking to me on a drive, and he talked about it. I said, Bobby, how do you manage? And I'm always curious about all the people that are doing that are top performers. What is it that you do? And everyone has a routine, and I can tell you, a commonality is really taking care of yourself and taking care of your health and making sure your mind, body, and soul is in a good place.
And you know what? It's the leadership, all leaders that I have ever talked to. And I tell you, Brian, I've interviewed so many people. That is critical. I think if you know Gino, he always called it his meds. Like I have to have my meds, and his meds was meditation,
Right.
exercise,
Ah,
diet,
okay.
and yeah, and oh gosh, what was the S? I forgot what was his S. Um, but that was all of his, of his prescription for success, right? Is making sure that all of that happened. And I know that you brought this up, that you have a lot of people counting on you, right? So I know that is a lot of stress, and most of us all do, especially if you are from an immigrant family. I'm going to say that because I really
Right.
truly believe that is something that we take on. I'm myself, we've had this conversation, right? That I have the same kind of background that you do, where we take care of others. One
Right.
of the initiatives I thought that was really interesting for me when I heard you say it was that you were really passionate about helping the sandwich generation. Okay. The professionals caring for both professionals, I mean, for children and aging parents,
Right.
which I know was an important focus for you and for AREAA. And what kind of resources were you talking about? Because I know you talked a little bit about that
Right.
when you said you wanted to set up a foundation. I want you
Yes,
to this, like I remember you saying that. And I
sure.
thought that was such a special, thoughtful idea because it touched my heart. Because, Bryan, I know what it's like. I know that, right? And I think many of us understand and know what it's like.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Teresa. Sandwich generation, Generation X, and Millennial. Before I kind of go into that, just on a note, we're going to have the largest transfer of wealth by 2048. $124 trillion is going to be transferred. And if you really think about it, it is the parents, the legacy, people that came before us that sacrificed that got us here today, aging in place, right? We have to give them a choice. Aging in place, downsizing, rather they're moving into or getting services, professional service. Just recently, with that speech being said, it came to me because I thought about, and we think about what's best for our parents, right? I think we end up making some decisions for them, but I would recommend really just asking them, right? What would you like to do? Right. And I asked my mom, did you want to move in with me at a certain time and so forth? But I wanted to give that choice to my mom because I felt like, you know what, she deserves it, right? She can age in place with dignity. And so, just recently when we had that conversation, I felt better knowing that she's making the decision, and there will be a time when she will actually have to move. And she did advise that she would like to live with us eventually. But where she is today, she's still good. So for those of you that are listening and maybe that can relate, please make sure you have that conversation and make sure that you let them make that choice. The other thing too is we do care for our children. It is the sandwich generation. I feel like it's a different generation, right? Because I feel like my four kids don't want to move out of my house anytime soon. In fact, I'm having all of them get their real estate license. Shout out to my third child, Terry Ahn, who just got his real estate license, right? Terry Ahn Realtor at gmail.com. He is looking for a home. So I know that Berkshire is one of the options for him. It's an amazing company. Shout out
Yes.
to Berkshire and Home Services. But yes, just to kind of bring it back, um, it is super important. This is something that we're all going through. AREAA was gracious enough to allow the project of researching this and finding more options within our community, named after my mom. So it's called the Key Soon Project, and you'll hear more about it. Just recently, local chapters, leaders that are in the medical field that are involved with senior care, for example, are coming to the table. So you'll definitely hear more, Teresa, around this. But right now, we're sort of at the infant stage and scratching the surface on this. But it's going to be huge and it's going to support everyone. So I look forward to you continue to be a part of our journey as we go into this in 2026.
Well, I loved it. I will tell you, it really touched my heart because I know, first of all, to have it named after your mother, it's just beautiful. So I just really wanted to just say that. And for your son, I'd love to have him join. Where does he live? We're gonna have to talk after.
He's in Orange County. He's in Fullerton.
Okay.
I believe you have a few offices there.
Perfect.
Yes,
We do. And Julie and Peter would love to have him as part of our team.
absolutely. Shout out to our Orange
So
County chapter there.
absolutely.
Yes, yeah,
Yes. All right, so AREAA reaches not just locally, they do a phenomenal job. And I have to give a beautiful hug and shout out to Carmen Shung because she has done a great job in managing your global program. And I know one of the things she and I talked about when we were there was your idea of maybe a trip to Korea because I think you do such a beautiful job. I know she was just in Juarez. I just saw a video where she's in
yes,
Juarez talking about opportunities for agents, ARIA members to, work with and travel to and also sell real estate there and vice versa. Tell me about that and what was, the purpose behind coordinating, because I know that there's a lot of history and you
yes.
were the very first group that I know that has done international collaboration. And how does it strengthen our work both here locally and also in the US and abroad?
Absolutely. I think our plan to outreach to Korea in 2026, and again, this is to Global Real Estate Alliance, which is a separate entity, and AREAA has, continued to evolve globally, and we're a leader within the housing advocacy. Korea is a nation, if you haven't gone, has really kind of evolved. And right now, everyone's into K-pop, K-drama, K-ramen, you name it, right? So I would say that the real estate is also changing quickly with the strong culture that's tied to our AANHPI population in the US. By building that connection there, both in policy and industry, we're not only exchanging ideas, but strengthening our bridge between our global innovation and our local application. International collaboration allow us to continue to solve similar challenges that we have in both countries, urban density, general housing models, affordability, and it also opens doors for investment, partnership, cultural understanding that directly benefits our community here. Back in 2018, I had the opportunity to go to South Korea, and this is a small trade mission. Um, we're also looking at that opportunity where it's going to tie into real estate. I would say that through Global Real Estate Alliance, and you spoke about collaboration, there's a lot of opportunities with, for example, AMPI in Mexico or Korean Association Realtors coming to the table. I would say that we're really kind of creating that bridge, but now not only are we creating that bridge, but we're opening doors on both sides. As you know, real estate is global. In fact, I think your company also encompasses global reach. So said that, if you are interested in becoming part of this journey with AREAA and of course Global Real Estate Alliance and HomeServices, I would say that in 2026 it's going to be exciting. I want to say that it's really realtors without borders is probably the theme that I would call it in 2026.
I love it. And you are beautiful. One thing that I love about how you do it is that you also, and I know it's a separate entity, but it was started out of the dream of your founders, that they wanted to really expand opportunities for agents who wanted to bring had investors that might want to do business here and vice versa, right? And yet you still protect the agents that bring the business to you by protecting their piece if there's a business opportunity, but also by providing agents and that are members of your group the opportunity to also earn commissions on real estate transactions that they work with and on. So I think that is just an amazing way for our agents to really have opportunities outside of just what they do. We always talk about spear and opportunities. This is a great opportunity for agents to really go outside of their, their countries and be able to bring business back, and also investors or developers and that type of thing. So I think it's amazing, and I love the idea of going to Korea. So I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah. So
Um,
don't forget, not only do we have our Korean fried chicken, K-pop, but we might come back a few years younger looking as well,
That's
Teresa. So keep
right.
that in mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love
I
that.
can't do
That's
that
the
right now.
reason, right? That's the best reason. So I know there's a why behind everyone. And so I always ask this question to every leader: what's your why behind your service to AREAA and your passion? Because each one of us, when we first fell in love with an organization, or a passion with what we wanted to do, there was a why behind it. What's your why?
This really kind of goes back to 2013 when Wells Fargo sent me on a work assignment to Honolulu, Hawaii for a global luxury summit. You might have heard that in the past. Um, it wasn't until when I went there, I didn't know, I didn't have any expectation, but when I left, I found my people, I found my family. And Aria was about me, my family's journey. So my why is really deeply rooted in legacy. My parents coming to the U.S. with really nothing but a dream. They didn't speak English. They didn't have connections, but they worked tirelessly to give me an opportunity, and watch how hard I saw them working. I realized, you know what? They didn't understand the system, or to build credit or to buy a house. And then I realized if you don't work to change the system, it will keep shutting people like them out. So I chose real estate because one of the most important and most direct way to build equity, not just financial, not, but really for social equity. Through ARIA, I can serve on a larger scale. I can be a mentor. I can help advocate and to help shape policies that create access. That's my why. And to make the path easier for the next generation to honor the sacrifices of the ones that come before us.
You and Ari has done such a great job in shaping policies and actually making an impact and change. So you are one of the organizations that's known for that, especially with your No Other, right,
Yes.
campaign in the past, which again proved how effective it was when a group of people get behind a really true need of change and actually accomplish it. So again, I love your why, and I can't believe it took your company, right, to send you to Ari, right?
Or
That's
else
so
I
why,
wouldn't have
right?
found Aria. Yeah. So
If
that
it
was it.
wasn't.
That was it.
And Brian, that's my story too. I would not have found NARA if it had not been for my boss who sent
Mm-mm.
me to an event. Isn't that wild? I would have not known
Right.
about the organization. So and it takes other people to entice us or push us to do something that's going to be a trajectory for change. And I know you talked about homeownership. You talk about your mother and your parents moving from South Korea to Hawaii. And then from Hawaii, how did you move to Phoenix? Is that where you first landed? And is that where you actually bought your first home? And what does that mean? That dream of homeownership mean for
Yeah,
you?
absolutely, Teresa. I think you meant to say Orange County, right? Yeah,
Oh,
where I
that's
live.
right, Orange County.
Orange
Yes.
County, yes.
Yes.
So yeah, what led up to me leaving Hawaii was, I would have to really say, is opportunity. Because growing up in Hawaii, the beauty about Hawaii is there's so many different ethnicity, right? ARIA consists of 51 ethnicities, 26 languages. And yet, like in Hawaii, we have affordability. Next generation of families are moving to Las Vegas, to Phoenix, to Texas, right? And so how do we provide opportunities for future generation there? So I left really for the opportunity. But my journey starts when I was working for United Airlines. After graduating, I felt like it was a dream job. But in order for me to get promoted, I had to move. So I moved to Chicago, where it's the hub. Every 15 minutes, there's a United Airlines flight taking off. And I have to tell you, it was the best experience. The morning of 9/11 changed everything for us in the industry. And then I realized that I have to make a decision. I knew that this wasn't going to be my career path. It wasn't. Luckily, and this is sort of a messaging for any future generation, is having education and having school, your foundation really kind of helps you so then you don't have to start from the beginning. And so I was fortunate that Bank of America has given me the opportunity, and my career path was relaunched in banking. And that's how I kind of ended up in from Chicago to Orange County. And today I've been in banking and mortgage for the last almost 25 years. And I'm so thankful for real estate and mortgage. If not, I wouldn't be able to take care of my family, come to beautiful city like Manhattan, New York, and participate in your beautiful call today. So thank you, Teresa.
Wow, it's an amazing story. And were you a flight attendant?
No, I was the operations manager in Chicago. So yeah, handled a lot of the escalations and met with the
Fun.
Ps and CIPs, and yeah, it was fun. It was fun, fun, fun. Yes.
Well, I don't know if you know this about me, but my family comes from the airline industry too. My dad worked for Delta Airlines. That was his first job. He was a blue collar worker, but a phenomenal opportunity. My sister Rosa works for Delta, and Atlanta is the hub for Delta. That's what brought us here. So same kind of for you, that where you were brought in with United, into Chicago. But beautiful to hear how, how you came into the US and how it kind of took a turn after 9/11, and the opportunities that you were able to achieve to get into the lending industry, which I think suits you personally very well because you've done such a great job in helping so many people. One of the things that I do want to talk about is the fact that these AREAA has really shaped so many leaders, and we look at it every day. Shout out to so many of the leaders. I know Nina Fabry, I know it works with us now. We
Right.
found her through AREAA because she was a local president of the Miami chapter. We've got so many across the country. Jennifer, when we have, Peter Au and Alice Schroeder and Julie Tran, that have been presidents of your chapter, Liz Goodchild, in
Yes.
Chicago, who has been president of your chapter. How has that remarkable growth influenced people over the years? And looking back at your own personal journey running the Orange County chapter, how did that experience lead you to local chapter president to now national leader? And for those future leaders that want to follow your path, like I know Peter, I think Peter would be a great, because I know he was running for a position within the ARIA leadership.
Right.
How can others follow your footstep, and what turning point for you, was the realization, this is what I want to do. I want to be the leader of this organization.
Yeah, actually, that's a great, great question. I think it came to me. I think sometimes when you just serve without any like expectation, things like opportunities just open up. And the validation of you doing a good job as a leader is that you don't need to say it; others will say it. And you talk about all the leaders, including Elizabeth and Jennifer, and everyone that you mentioned. First of all, I want to thank each and every one of them for volunteering. Right, we do not get paid for this. Right, we volunteer, and you volunteer with your three T's: your time, talent, your treasure. And over the years, ARIA to me is very special because this organization allows you to really grow as a leader, um, but it's really what you put into that you get back. You asked me about how things led up from local chapter to national. I don't think I had like a specific plan that I'm going to do this for national or be a local chapter president. But what led up to me eventually being national president after serving for local, serving as a national chapter development chair, serving as a member services committee chair for national also. And then ultimately, I think it was the timing and the cherry on top would I would say would be my wife. So when my wife said, "I support you, this is the right time, I'm behind you," then I knew it was time for me to make a deeper impact, right? With my experience, my knowledge, my passion. I talk about GPS a lot, not your global positioning system, but your gift, passion, and your willingness to serve. So I was so fortunate because there were so many strong candidates, right, within our organization. But I just want to thank everybody that supported me, that voted for me, that you have my word that I will do my very best in 26 to continue to further the mission and make a deeper impact to the community for AREAA.
Well, and with that said, we're on our last question before we go to a fun fire round. If you can leave AREAA members, and one other shout out to Lena Tan, who's another one of our wonderful uh,
Yes,
presidents on the local
right.
level, and Berkshire Hathaway also a member. If you could leave a member, leave AREAA members and allies with one call to action for next year, what would it be and why?
Um, I'm going to tell you that story. Things in life it happens on its own. There's no accident. So you talk about how you found, NARAP and I found AREAA. It was the same thing. Last year during policy, a gentleman named Michael Fong out of Brooklyn, who's the past president, said, "Hey, Brian, do you have a sort of a theme or title for your policy next year?" And I said, "No." And then that evening, as I'm doing Zoom and doing some training, the instructor kept on using the word voice and choice. And so it kind of stuck with me, right? Because the last time we did anything like with all of us being there and being one voice was the No Other campaign, Teresa, which you're very familiar with. So those two words, voice and choice. So in 26, my call to action is for everyone to be visible and really be the voice, right? Because if you don't have a voice, you don't have a choice. And in 26, I would like all of our AREAA members to be our voice will make an impact on our choice. So that's really my call to action in 25 into 26 is to be visible, to be the voice, take action, and most of all, help us make that impact together.
I love it. That's beautiful. Thank you for that call to action. And I think that is a beautiful thing to have our members do. All right, so we're going to do something fun. We're going to do a real quick fire run to get to know
Switch
you a
my
little
seat
bit.
now, right? Let me go ahead and switch seats here. Okay, go ahead,
Okay.
Teresa. Yeah,
All right, here we go. So, just first that comes to your mind, right? The first thing
sure.
that comes to your mind. So, do you love coffee, tea, or soju?
Oh my goodness, that's a tough one. You got me stumped at soju, but I'm gonna go with coffee.
Coffee, mine
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Colombian coffee every time. If you could share a meal and a toast with anyone, past or present, who would it be?
Oh, share a meal with anyone in the past or present? Oh my goodness. I would really say pass. I had a chance to have dinner with Alan Okamoto, the founders, and John Wong back in Hawaii. We had sushi, but there wasn't a lot of time. But I learned so much at that table about not only the organization, but the takeaway for me was how they were able to keep their marriage, raise their kids. You know what I mean? Those inside information, how to keep a happy home, how to balance work and life. and they you never get a chance to find out this kind of information, right? But that was just priceless. So I would say past meal revisit with Alan O and John Wong. That's an invitation to you too, by the way.
I
Yes.
would love that. That seems like a dream opportunity. I've had, again, I totally agree with that. Beautiful, beautiful choice. All right, favorite K-pop group or artist?
Oh my goodness. I like Psy. I know, Psy hasn't come out with a new song for a while. The reason why I love Psy, if you know Psy's backstory, is he lives everything with passion. You can see it in his performance. Some people have story that they come from like a difficult situation financially, or maybe they had obstacle they weren't able to. But in Sai's case, like he comes from a pretty well off family. He attended like a music school in Boston, but he really did what he wanted to do, and it's not your sort of your traditional K-pop. So I would recommend everyone to listen to some of his older music that led up to Oppa Gangnam Style, which is like the number one YouTube video ever. And now we don't see him, but he's even though as successful he still is very loyal and served in the Korean community and country. And in fact, every summer he put together like events to uplift people. So I think he's an amazing artist. And shout out to Psy, Oppa
Love
Gangnam.
Psy, love Psy.
Yes, yes.
Go to karaoke song.
Go to karaoke song. It depends on if it's myself or if it's a duet.
Yourself.
Myself, because I'm all about collaboration. But if there's no one to bail me out and they put me to go up and sing, um, I like Viva La Vida by Coldplay.
Oh
That's
yeah.
yeah, because it's uplifting and I don't know, either that or Lionel Richie's Hello, if I guess, feeling romantic.
Oh,
But
I
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Both of those are
It's probably
great.
because my wife is in the audience, but probably I'll stick with the Coldplay Viva La Vida.
And then one word that best describes your leadership style?
Oh, I would say inspiration. I think
Inspiration.
to me, it's to find people to inspire. We can use words like motivation or, performance or, your why. But I think people really are able to take action when they're inspired. I just came up with this kind of like this kind of stuck with me, Teresa. The difference between good and great. It's what you're capable versus what you're willing to do. And a lot of us are capable, but not many of us are willing to do. So I would say that is probably my leadership style is to take action. Yeah.
Beautiful. And then favorite city in Asia and why?
Oh, normally, I would go straight to Seoul or South Korea or Tokyo, Japan. But recent years, I've had opportunity, speaking of Global Real Estate Alliance, to go to Vietnam. So I really had an amazing time in Ho Chi Minh City. So if you haven't gone to Vietnam, it's a thriving country. People are amazing and culture, and there's like the French influence there as well. I think now is the time to go, and it's probably your exchange rate favors a lot too. But I would recommend going closer towards like the winter, like November to maybe February, as a time of travel, just because of the heat and humidity there as well. So that
Oh,
that would
nice. I've
yeah,
always wanted to go there. So that's one of, Teresa
yeah.
Wynn has always asked me, and I need to do the trip.
The
So
other Teresa, the other Teresa, yes, yes,
yes, exactly. She's always, you
right,
need to come. So I'm definitely going to
yeah.
do that. Well, I really appreciate, I think this was so much fun to get to know you better and also to learn more about your goals and a little bit about, the why behind what you're doing. So I want to thank you so much for joining us, Bryan, on Diversity Matters and for sharing your vision for AREAA's next chapter. And I will tell you that your leadership reminds me that progress is going on. It happens when passion meets purpose. And I can see that you inspire me, and I know that you inspire others. And also the fact that you're honoring our generations that have actually come before us. I think that when we do that, it is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I really want to thank you for being part of our program today. I know that our listeners have really left with a lot of knowledge, and I really want to thank you again for taking time while you're in the meets West programming in Manhattan. Please let everyone know that I said hello and that we want to thank them for letting us steal you for an hour today.
Absolutely. And Teresa, thank you so much to you and also for Home Services and everyone that are watching. I want to just give a quick shout out to Teresa that over the years that I've known you, not only are you an amazing leader within the community and you take action and you're very proud of your heritage and also your legacy, but you're a kind person and you're a family friend to me. So anytime Teresa asks me to do something, Teresa, I'm here for you in 2026, and I look forward to your continued success.
Thank you
Uh,
so much. Oh, that's so
thank you.
very touching, Brian. I really appreciate it. To our viewers, thank you for joining us and for tuning in today. Be sure to join us our next Women Who Lead episode. It's going to be on November 12th, and we got great women that are going to be on the show. And then the next Diversity Matters conversation takes place on November 19th. It'll be the last one of the year. So please join us then. And until then, remember inclusion isn't just a value, it's a vision in action. So, diversity matters where inclusion meets innovation, and every story has the power to spark change. Bye bye, everyone. Thanks again. Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.